Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Cropper here. I have a plan. What we need to do, don't worry about that guy, I just didn't want a white screen over there. What we need to do is convince everybody that they need to name their premises. And whenever we're arguing with people, we need to ask them to define their premises, whatever it is. And in some cases, we're going to ask them, give us a definition. You know, define this term or that term, or tell me exactly what you're referring to here, whatever it is. So getting people to concretize, name their premise, definitions would be more towards that in some people's cases. You know, some people's thinking is just a total mess. So when you're talking to them or attacking them or trying to figure out something with them, sometimes you're just trying to get the smallest island of reason with them. Just define a word or term. Okay, so that's the first step with them, right? So then they define their word or term, or their premises, as it were. Okay? And then we go to them and we say, well, those premises are not sufficient for your case. And then they say, well, damn it, you told me I needed a premise. I said, yes, you do need a premise. And they said, well, I've got a premise. Well, your premise is not sufficient for your case. You're going to have a deeper or more substantial or more reasonable premise. Should we concretize this? This is pretty floating right now. Let's do anarchy, right? They say anarchy, we say on what premises? Well, anarchy on the premises of, first principles, whatever. Now, sometimes religious people do this, on the premise that the Bible is true, on the premise that, and they'll name their premise. They'll have a basic premise that they'll go from, and some of them won't use the Bible as truth. Some of them their premise is that God created every man with an individual soul. That's their thing that they like to say. So everybody's got their thing they like to say. So what's your premise? So if you can get them to a premise, then you can attack their premise and show why their premise isn't sufficient. And that's what I like when they go, damn it, you told me I have to have a premise. I've got a premise. Yes, all right, well, now you've got a premise. And then we, like with the anarchists now, we attack their premises. That premise is not good. Shitty premise, crap, garbage, beta. And then when they collapse in a heap of exhaustion and come crawling back and say, okay, how do I build a premise that's not collapsing all the time like yours? And we say, just use mine. It's a really good premise. It's the objectivist premise that we exist and have a mind. Just start with that. That something exists, we have a mind, we perceive it. Just start there. And, we'll just drill it into them. Through exhaustion and repetition maybe. A metaphorical whipping in the old realm of ideas, in the marketplace of ideas, will eventually get the idea through to them that it is not some sort of circus sideshow. Philosophy is not a circus sideshow where you can just choose this and that and play around and everybody just has fun. No, it's a very serious realm, and only the people who take ideas really, really seriously actually don't look like fools.